Okay, just imagine. It's 2021. Good times, right? Except the pandemic's still be going strong and we kind of still stuck inside. You have to wear masks and all that. Yeah, I remember that, right? Anyways, if you did go outside, or let's say, went to a mall, you'd see a little store called the Disney Store. The Disney Store. You explore around a bit, and on one of the many window advertisements, you'd see a little new product from Disney called Disney's Nuimos. But Cece, what the fuck is a Nuimo? Well, I'll tell you, little buddy. Disney's Nuimos are one of Disney's many toy lines that gained a huge popularity in Japan. The name itself, Nuimos, being a mashup of two Japanese words. Nurigurumi, Nurigurumi, meaning plush, and Madoru meaning model. So in other words, plush model. Yep, these little guys are meant to be dolls that you could take pictures and customize for whatever your heart desires. Except for Donald and Daisy. Slight tangent here. For some reason, you could take off all the other Nuimos clothes off that aren't sewn onto the doll directly, except for Donald's and Daisy's, for whatever reason, even though they look like it. You could still put clothes on them, if you want to deal with that, trying to deal with the shirts and stuff. Or you could do what I did. Just cut off their shirts. It makes putting on the clothes much easier, trust me. Anyways, the first wave came out on January 1st, 2021, while Japan first got them a few years earlier on November 1st, 2018, which consisted of Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Daisy, Stitch, and Angel, and came out along their first wave of clothing line called Fashion Collection, which were just basic clothing. Yep. Don't get me wrong, they were cute, but not really something to write home about, you know? Then the next wave came out, called Everyday Cosplay. It was released a month later by Wes Jenkins and Ashley Eckstein, the voice actress of Ahsoka Tano. How did I just know about this? Anyways, not only were these simple clothes, but they were made to be a sort of Disney-bound type outfits for the dolls. So you could Disney-bound with your little guys if you wanted to. I would tell you more of the clotheslines they made, but I'd just be like, hey, look, they made 2 to 3 outfits for fall. Riveting. Long story short, the outfits are cute, but it's hard to sort of navigate each different wave when they release them willy-nilly and all that. So, just for time's sake, here's what some of the outfits look like. Look at them. My favorite ones consisted of the Pride outfits and the Chinese New Year's ones. But, that's enough of the outfits. On to the dolls themselves. So, you've got 2 categories in these, right? You've got the animal ones, and you've got the human-looking ones, which look horrid. In my opinion. I'm sorry. But the human ones do not look right. Except for Jack and Sally. They look alright. I mean, if you count Jack and Sally as humans. But I don't know where else to put them. Oh god, does that mean Groot is also a human? Does he go in the human category? Anyways, moving on. There's also another set of categories. Ones that were released out here in the West, and the others that are sort of region-locked in Japan. I don't know what or why they weren't released here, but they've just brought some of them here, and then just made some new ones to bring over here. Come on, man. I just want Max Goof and Pinocchio. Oh, fuck. Does Pinocchio count as part of the human category? And how is there a Kingdom Hearts outfit out there, but not here? What the fuck? Anyways, enough of that. As I've said, I do own some of these. As you can see, they're mostly animals, not humans. Wonder why that is. Anyways, I have taken the liberty of dressing some of them myself, and I've already taken a decent amount of photos with them. Now I can tell you, plush model really holds up. Yeah, they are kind of difficult to set up if you don't plant their feet out straight. They just kind of fall over. But, it's just only a tiny little hurdle if you could set them up correctly. And look, they even got magnets on their heads. You can just stick them on metal, and voila. You got a balanced Nuimo for your photo. Okay, enough about my babies. They've had their time to shine. Now, I've already shown you what all has been released. Sort of. Don't quote me on that, but I want to really put a highlight on two, get this, two exclusive Nuimos released. Great. Love that. D23, am I right? Yep, we all know what D23 is, right? If you don't, it's a convention where Disney fans and influencers go to see all the new projects Disney has. Like new movies, expansions to the parks, all that jazz. It's just basically a publicity stunt, in my eyes, just to kind of make traction for Disney. Anyways, but at D23 2021 is when we got our first and last exclusive Nuimo. Wow, who could it be? There's a ton of Disney characters they could choose from. I can't wait to see. It's Magica. Magica Dispel. I mean, it's not a bad Nuimo. In fact, she's the first villain to get a Nuimo. But, I mean, out of all the villains to be exclusive, Magica? I just think it's a weird choice. Because, like, unless you're a huge fan of old Disney cartoons or a hardcore collector of these little guys, I don't see why else you would buy Magica. It's just kind of weird. I mean, of course I wanted to buy her. I love DuckTales. I love the ducks. I love Disney ducks. But, like, she was expensive at eBay, and I can't really find her anymore. But, you know, they released Darkwing Duck's outfits alongside her. And you know I had to get my hands on those boys. Look at my babies. Look at them in their cute little outfits. Alright, on to the next exclusive. Disney Nuivo Calendar. Not only did it have exclusive outfits and accessories, it had two exclusive Nuimos, Mickey and Minnie. But check it. We made them sparkly and changed their outfits from red to green and gold. Riveting! Yeah, I'm gonna be real. I'm not getting a bunch of outfits and just to recolor two Nuimos for $150. Not to mention that I can't get them anymore. But, you know, that's how it is. Anyways, that concludes the exclusive Nuimos portion. Yeah, a whole 4 years. And only two exclusives. Yeah, makes me sad too. Now, to talk about the elephant in the room. What the fuck happened to Nuimos? Well, if you go to the Disney website and look them up, yeah, they hardly have anything on the website. It's like they run out of stock and they never restock it on the website until you already bought some at the Disney parks. Oh yeah, the Disney parks. So check it. Back then, the only way to get these guys was A, online, B, at the parks, or C, at the Disney stores. Ah, the Disney stores. You don't remember those? I do. I'll never forget them. Anyways, one of the very few advertisements these little fuckers got was in the Disney stores in the mall. But as you can see, they're no more. Why was that? Because all the way back in September of 2021... wait, that was like a few months after Nuimos launched? Huh. Anyways, Bob Chapek, everybody's favorite Disney CEO in the history of forever, no lies whatsoever, decided that the Disney stores was next on the chopping block of his tirade on Disney. Why'd they close, you might ask? Well, because they wanted to focus on online sales. Huh. Yeah, funny they say that when I can literally buy stuff at Disneyland that's almost never on the website. So, if you want to go and buy some Nuimos, your best bet is to drive all the way to your nearest Disney park. Which is unreasonable depending on where you live. Story time. I remember going to downtown Disney one time for Christmas, and I saw these two girls video chatting with someone on the other end, and they went around the whole entire Nuimo section, and they were just, showing the other person on the other end the sets of clothes they wanted, the Nuimos they didn't have. And I remember looking at that, and I was like, man, that's so nice. But that also sucks. I mean, I get it. We've got the online store, but kind of a barren wasteland most of the time. And the physical stores have more inventory than online has. So, in my earnest opinion, if you want to get yourself some Nuimos, I would just go to Mercari or eBay or use Buy to get the exclusive stuff they have in Japan. It's my 2 cents on it. Alright, on to the next section. What am I getting at on all of this? At Disney, it doesn't do much for these little bastards. On the marketing side, nothing. So if you keep up with Nuimos like I have, you've noticed you've seen less and less of them on any Disney platform, to the point where I can only get new information from other Nuimos creators on Instagram. And I'll tell you something, if I'm only getting the latest release dates from your fanbase than you, the company itself, I think we have a problem. And it's only getting worse. You know it's getting bad when the fucking official Disney Plushies account, which showed every plushie Disney had, just changes into the Disney Munchlings account. Weird how that happened. And from then on, creators have been posting how the Nuimos section keeps shrinking and shrinking every time they go to the Disney parks. Now, why has Disney started dwindling the Nuimos everywhere? I have no clue. You can make 100 guesses, and they'd all be as good as mine. One possible theory I have is that Disney just hasn't made much of a profit from the line over here in the West as much as Japan, and are just trying to slowly weed them out of everything in order to focus on their more successful brand, Munchlings. What's Munchlings, you may ask? A blind box plush line. Yeah, I wonder why they're making more money on that. I would say this is the case, but the last one they released was the Lilo Nuimo, so I'm not really sure what they're doing. They kind of just released that quietly, and I don't know if they released another one since there. But all that aside, one thing is for certain, and that's that people still want Nuimos. Instagram specifically. I mean, I've only seen this on Insta and on a few accounts I followed. Check them out, they're great. But honestly, people are just sad and frustrated that Disney isn't doing much for these guys, feeling abandoned. And honestly, I can't really blame them. These people love their Nuimos and everything about them. Hell, even the fan base is doing more for these little munchkins. I don't know any other words for these little guys than Disney has ever done. I mean, if you go to Etsy and type Nuimos, you'll see a bunch of outfits, accessories, and other stuff that Nuimos fanbase has created for these little rascals. People still love these guys, and they still want more of them, me included. Well, for me, I got into them because I didn't really like taking pictures of myself. Yeah, camera shy and all that. But I started taking an interest in photography, and I was like, hey, why don't I start using these little guys to, kind of up my photography skills? The photos I have here are not the best. I will be really honest about that. But I think I did improve some of the times that I've taken pictures of these little guys. These aren't all the pictures, but that's all I've got. And I enjoy my time taking my Nuimos out and showing them to the world. Now, as for what Disney has planned for them, I honestly don't know. It just seems like they want this toy line out of their hands. And that kind of sucks. Kind of heartbreaking, because I really hope they continue this line. And not just for my own personal sake, for everyone else that loves these guys as much as me. The fan base deserves more than this, I feel like. And I think Disney really had something with this toy line. It just feels like wasted potential, So I hope if they ever do pick this line up again, I hope they actually do more with it. Put more characters. The ones that we actually want. Like maybe Peter Pan. Anyways, that's it for my time here. What do I know, right? I'm just a person rambling on. But hey, if you're still here, thanks for listening to this mini video rant, whatever this was actually. Tell me, have you heard of Nuimos before this? What Nuimos do you want or have? Share them with me. Maybe. I can't tell you what to do. Or, if you want to see a new Disney Nuimos character in this line, tell me, which one would you have? I know what I want. Anyways, thanks for listening to me. Yep, I've been CeceLarz, and these have been my familiars, Rexford and Camus, and we'll see you next time. I have something else to ramble about. Peace.